Hello, I'm Christina Demuth. I'm with the Digital Manufacturing Services team at Stellium, and I'm here with Shrimoy, who is joining us on behalf of Marico Limited, which is headquartered in Mumbai and specializes in consumer goods in the areas of health, beauty, and wellness, and has been one of Stellium's valued customers for some time now. As head of business applications at Marico, Shrimoy is responsible for developing and delivering the IT strategic roadmap for all business functions at Marico. So it's great to talk with you, Shrimoy. Can you share a little bit of background on the business, on your manufacturing operations?
Right. Hi, Christina. Hello, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity for having me. This gives me a great platform to talk about the great work that we at Marico are doing, what Marico is all about, and getting to know you as well, possibly. Right. So Marico is a $1 billion plus FMCG company. We are an emerging markets FMCG, which means that we have presence in Asia and Africa. We are essentially into, like you talked about, health, beauty, right? Both in male and female grooming. 80% of our business top line, give or take, comes from the Indian market. And so the Indian market is very, very important for us in terms of digitization, in terms of focus, and also in terms of manufacturing. So I lead all of IT initiatives for the Indian market, and we did an implementation with Stellium in 2020, which I'm very proud of, and I hope to share a lot of insights about it with you today.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. Can you start by sharing a little bit about Marico's Industry 4.0 journey and overall strategy and how that's developed over time?
So we have about 6 manufacturing locations in India and a similar number abroad. Like I said, India is our focus market. So we wanted to start our digital 4.0 journey from the Indian market. And typically, what you see as an IT leader or a functional leader in manufacturing is that it is very difficult to automate or digitize an existing operation, because an existing operation has already achieved a certain level of efficiency, a certain level of maturity, right? So we chose to start our digital 4.0 journey with our greenfield plant that we were setting up in Gujarat, Sanand. So the idea was that the plant should be able to expand as our business expands. And with this thought, we focused on marrying Digital 4.0 with our manufacturing aspirations to be a scalable and a truly digitized operation.
Okay. And then I assume, did you then learn did you take what you learned from that greenfield implementation, and were you able to apply some best practices to some of the other facilities?
We were able to. So if I talk about the green field operations, so the greenfield operations, the factory was built sometime in end 2019, early 2020. So the idea was, get the machines in, like the manufacturing machines in, set up the plant operations, and then you go ahead and digitize the factory. So one of the components of digitization was an automated storage and retrieval system. The thought behind having automated storage and retrieval system was that we did not want to waste much of floor space. We wanted the inventory to be stacked vertically up in the least amount of space possible, because we wanted to utilize the space for putting up manufacturing lines.
Sure.
And to achieve that, ASRS was a very, very efficient solution in the sense that we have 3 cranes, cranes which go and fetch your raw material, packaging material, finished goods, on getting tasks or instructions from the EWM machine. So what it allowed us that initially when we started, probably the ASRS system was 50% utilized. Yeah. Today it is more than 85-90% utilized. And that has 3 years down the line, and that has given us a huge room to grow in a scalable manner, right? And what was, I think, a very, very important success story in this implementation was, this is the heights of 2020, right? There is a project plan which says that, experts will fly in from Thailand, people will be on site, and that's how we're going to do the implementation. But come 2020, none of this was suddenly possible. Yeah. And I think it's only because of the skill and the deep expertise that the Stellium team brings in that we were able to go live with our end-to-end digitization. Sometime in December 2020, we went live. And in December 2020, I was almost on tenterhooks. I visited the plant operations thinking that, oh my God, this is the quarter end. Am I going to be able to close this quarter? Yeah. Or is my business going to get disrupted because suddenly I have a new system? People need to get used to it.
Right.
It's going to give a lot of errors, both in terms of configuration, customization, or even in terms of the learning curve, right? So and surprisingly, that did not happen. It's because of the Stellium team's deep expertise and commitment to our business that we were able to go live very smoothly in December, and we were able to close December 2020 right on time. And I'm really proud of what we achieved with Stellium as our partner.
Yeah, that's great. And it's, it's definitely always a partnership. So lots of efforts all around. So you've kind of hinted at, you've mentioned EWM. So if we back up a little bit, so the project that Stellium worked on with you was really implementing the SAP manufacturing solution with the extended warehouse manufacturing solution. So in looking at, I want to understand some of the challenges that you had identified, or from some of your previous, the existing facilities. What were specifically some of those issues that you wanted to address, with the fresh greenfield implementation?
So the thought was to have a factory as automated as possible, a factory which can run 3 shifts using minimal unskilled labor, if I were to put it that way. And the thought behind that was, when you run the factory in the 3rd shift, it becomes very difficult to have folks who will, go to your raw material and packaging material, go, operate the forklift, get the material, bring it onto the line for manufacturing. So we decided to create, a mother-child shuttle system, which will fetch the raw material and packaging material from the ASRS system. So how it worked was, imagine you are a factory worker in a line, right? And you want raw material. Didn't want to make it too complex for the guy at the line, right? The idea is to transfer the complexity to the backend. So there's a big red button, kind of like a fire alarm button, you can imagine. So you press it once, raw material comes to your line directly through that shuttle system, and you press it twice, packaging material comes. So to get this flow seamlessly, I needed to integrate the ASRS system with the robot, which is the mother and child shuttle system, to be actually be able to, traverse the entire distance from where my inventory is to where my manufacturing is. So this required a lot of handoffs between the crane in the SRS system, the child shuttle receiving it, the mother transporting it, those handoffs. And every handoff, like we know, and if we think about it simplistically, is like a data hop. And every data hop is a point of failure. So that was one of the critical things that we wanted to solve. And, that took us a couple of trial runs to ensure that this flow happens smoothly and as much without human intervention as possible.
Sure. Yeah, always that coordination between the shop floor and the material movement is there's lots of opportunities there. So yeah.
There was also one key decision in terms of architecture, that the EWM system that we have, should it be on the cloud or should it be on the edge? Could we really afford the latency that cloud brings in, or should we set up a dedicated infrastructure for the EWM system on site to ensure that the response times are minimized?
Yeah. Okay. So the was are there any particular things that you can identify as far as why you and the team ultimately chose the SAP solutions to help with address these?
Right. So I think we are very much an SAP shop, more than I'd like to be many times. So SAP was definitely in the consideration set because we wanted it to integrate whatever solution we chose. We wanted it to integrate seamlessly with our ERP system, which is also SAP. So that was one of the consideration sets. Also, we looked at some of the other industries which had implemented EWM, or rather, industry 4.0 solution before us in India. So we looked at companies in the paint sector, and we understood that EWM was the most mature solution at that point in the market, which offered the capabilities that we were looking for.
Sure. Yeah, and then when you pair that the warehouse management is integrated with the ERP and is also integrated with the manufacturing, it does often ultimately make a lot of sense. Okay. So what are some of the biggest benefits that you've seen in the past 3 or so years of using this?
So the biggest benefit which I see, if you think of it, is obviously the fact that we can run operations almost without any manpower in the third shift if we want to. Yes. So that is one of the big benefits. The other benefits is obviously the space optimization that we were able to do, and a scalable design that we've conceived of working with our manufacturing team. And the third and the most important one is, I think it's a big attraction for talent, both on the manufacturing and on the IT side, because I think the talent today wants to work on a lot of cool stuff, wants to work on things which are of the future, wants to work on things which are exciting and cool, right? So in terms of talent, I think both on the manufacturing and IT side, whenever people have been working on that plant, or whenever people from my team have been assigned a project in that area, they're like, oh, this is mind blowing. This is what I want to do. This is the thing of the future. I think it served as a big magnet for talent as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out, because that's your systems are important, your processes are important, and your people are critical. So yeah, that's great to hear. Okay. So thinking back to maybe the selection process, definitely the implementation process, are there any lessons learned that you can share with those that are just getting started down the Industry 4.0 path, or just getting started and a little bit earlier in their journey of the shop floor digitization?
Right. So in terms of if I talk about the software itself, SAP EWM, I think, uh, and possibly integration with MII, I don't think there is really uh, an equivalent solution out there, which can compete with MII and the whole manufacturing stack that SAP has created, or rather co-created with its customers. I do not think that there is any competition to that at the moment, right? And in terms of implementation partner, I have been really happy with the kind of deep expertise Stellium team brings in. I think um, if you are already in touch with a partner who has done 100,000 such implementations on a global scale in multiple markets around the globe, why would you not want to leverage that expertise? I think a Stellium team brings great expertise in terms of doing a lot of uh, different, huge, important implementations across the globe. So I think it's a no-brainer why anyone should choose Stellium.
Well, that's great to hear. Well, it's been very good talking with you, and thank you so much for sharing some of your insights. And I know that we at Stellium definitely look forward to continuing to partner with you at Marico.
Absolutely. Thank you
Thanks so
so
much
much,
for your
Christina.
time, Shrimoy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.